quite difficult to generate that, and the easiest way I use that, and again in my case with Tony, I tell him to drive it like it's Wally's. Hate the car, let's get as much temperature as we can.
The cars have a small rear brake, so the brakes don't generate any temp for the rear tyre, and there's no throttle to generate rear tyre temp. So working that tyre on the outlap, you'll see on a warm-up lap for a TCR race, the guys really throwing the cars into the corner.
Because it's a front-wheel drive car, the rear tyres take a lot of work to get them up, but they have to work them to get them up to temperature. All I ask them to do is just drive it like you stole it, and then let's check the temperatures. And we will adjust the camber, the caster, whatever we need to get the temperature across the tyre more so than anything else. So that cross temperature from the outside of the tyre to the inside of the tyre is quite important.
There's certainly plenty of things that you can do to optimise tyre temperature with your chassis changes, etc, etc. But the largest thing that we work on here is the driver. He's the biggest tool in the car, and we use him to adjust those tyre temperatures.
Really it goes hand in hand. If the setup of the car's right, then it sort of generates its own temp. I guess tweaks on the rear would be, some extra toe trying to make drag on the tyre. But obviously then that has an effect on how the car turns in as well. Another $1 million question.
To optimise rear tyre temp, we can change things like toe and shock absorber settings to try and work that tyre in the rear a bit harder. Yeah, generally we're always fighting for rear tyre temp. But yeah, there's plenty of things to do to improve the rear tyre temp, but it's still always a battle.
Camber's probably the most you can change, because you can change it front and rear, and so you try and work that a little bit. And the steering, so you can tow it in, tow it out, do a little bit of that. So it's hard to optimise it 100%. I think that the temperature of the day, the temperature of the track and all that sort of thing. So you have to sort of calculate all that into one and try and make it work like that.
The learning curve through TCR has been amazing and huge. To point it down to how much have we learned, I think it's ever evolving. I still think today, walking through the cars in the workshop, if you're not thinking about it, you're being left behind. There is so much to learn, and I can't even put it into words, what we started with and what we've come to now, and even looking into the horizon, what's yet to come. There's still so much more. We had Nesta come out in 2019, and it was a greatly rewarding experience for the team, because whilst Nesta did a fantastic job over that weekend, it also highlighted the fact that our drivers were doing a far better job than they probably gave themselves credit for. The time over that weekend was great to be able to bounce all the ideas that we probably hadn't got around to using yet, but were certainly things that we could take forward and use moving forward into the rest of the season.